Hello, I'm Paul Diho, and welcome to Different Perspectives, where we explore stories shaping Africa's next generation of innovators. Today, we turn our attention to Nigeria, a country brimming with young talent at the intersection of education, technology, and creativity. Earlier this year, a team of students from Glisten International Academy in Abuja proudly represented Nigeria at the VEX Robotics World Championships in Dallas, Texas, competing alongside some of the brightest minds from around the world. In this episode, we'll hear from Abba Saidu, the Executive Director of Glisten International Academy, who is leading a quiet revolution in STEM education. He shares his insights, how his school is nurturing future tech leaders through robotics, coding, and makers spaces, giving Nigerian students tools to compete on a global stage. Hello, Abba. Welcome to Different Perspectives.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to meet you for the first time, and thank you for doing this.
Oh, thank you as well. It's an opportunity for me as well.
So let's start off by you telling us a little bit about you and what you do in Abuja, Nigeria.
We run a school here in Abuja, Nigeria, and for the past almost 17 years now, we've been having the school, and at the heart of what we do is rebuilding technology into it. So very much educational technology is key to what we do at Glisten International Academy here in Abuja. We have two branches, the primary and secondary, here in Abuja, and our kids have been immersed in a lot of emerging technologies from the get-go, and I have been involved in spearheading and leading the technical technology deployment and development around the school, from planning to actually making things happen and making sure our young ones have the requisite knowledge and skills for the next for the future workspace. So pretty much that's what I do. I love basketball. That's my spare time. I do some basketball. I love coaching. I love mentoring young ones, so that they don't face the kind of problems we face here while I was growing up. So I like just giving out a bit of my knowledge and experience to younger ones. I love it. I love seeing the young ones, especially the 4 or 5 year olds. They just melt your heart when they smile, even if you're hungry. It's a very good environment where you come and just feel at ease and connect with nature.
But when I've talked to people who know about you, they say you are one of the few people who is trying to build an army of young tech entrepreneurs, young tech enthusiasts, people who want to turn their careers around by taking on new opportunities in technology. What got you started? How do you get to that point where you are trying to empower young ones?
It's quite surprising that people are saying I'm trying to build an army of young tech ones, but I think I just like to perhaps get people going from where they are, even if it's baby steps. I think that's what interested me most in school and working in school. And I happen to do a full-time job sometimes, most times, with working at the school. So I run the school actually with my mom. I happen to be the executive director, and it was an opportunity. I saw the school perhaps at a time struggling, and knowing that it's kind of family business. So I just had to help, seeing the struggles, like a woman from Africa, going from one business to another, and I felt that okay, I could use my expertise and also collaborate, and I saw the opportunity that we could just make the difference. Being a younger person, knowing what's happening around the world and being into knowing what's happening with the technological spaces, especially with the emergence of new technologies. We just saw the opportunity, and we kind of joined in the team from the get-go when it started. So I think that's how it started actually. So trying to whenever you look at the developed world and here in Africa, you see so much difference, and you think you want to think that you could do small differences, no matter what, even if they're baby steps. So it's kind of the kind of principles that we try to adopt, because you can't really change people at the get-go, but the best way is to take those baby steps I mentioned. So I think that's what kind of got me going, and that's it. So I happened to be the director of finance at the point in time with an engineering background. How strange it was. But over time, my role kind of changed because of the influence and the authority and the kind of influence of whatever happens around the school, and the kind of problem solving that we have. So I think that's how it kind of started.
When we talk about emerging technologies, when we talk about these new skills that are being given to these young people, what are we talking about?
We're talking about new technologies that we see that are making waves around the world, and things like blockchain, AI is a hot topic. Robotics education, is kind of the key focus of what we do. We're quite strong with robotics education at our school, because we've had successes and we've seen the possibilities, and our students also growing in leaps and bounds into this kind of technologies, STEM-based courses. So we make sure that we just empower them in all those things. So you have the blockchain technology making the waves. You have Internet of Things. There are quite a lot of emerging technologies. The drones, engineering, and quite a lot of things. And coding, programming. This all started very well. So there are quite a number of technology, emerging tech that's happening. So those are the kind of technologies we're actually talking about, to be precise.
Let's spend a minute on robotics. Your team, your students recently competed at one of the biggest robotic competitions in the world. It took place in Dallas, Texas. Tell us more. What did you and your students do there?
We happen to represent Nigeria at the world's largest robotics competition held at Dallas. Last year we happened to be there too, or we were opportunity to be there, and also this year we happened to be there. So it was kind of a series of processes that you go into from you registering for the competitions and getting the kits, getting trainings, and also passing inspections, online inspections, and quite some nitty-gritty, building robots, having the team, having to raise sponsorship as well for the trip, because it's no easy job traveling with kids and all that. So we kind of had some support from our parents and a few other individuals that align with our vision and that see what the kind of things we do. And at Dallas, we happened to be at Dallas with three of our teams, one from the VRC, two from the VRC, the elementary IQ teams, rather, two IQ elementary and middle school IQ teams, and the VRC we had one from the high school. So we kind of had three teams representing Team Nigeria, So, and I think we were the first school to have the first school to represent Nigeria in the world's largest robotics event, and we happen to have our kids happen to, and ourselves too, we happen to got a lot of experience, because it's a wonderful experience when you see diversity of people all around the world, especially from the opening ceremony where you have the parades of nations. And I can't better describe it, but to say, like, it's like the Olympics, when you watch the Olympics parades, so that kind of goosebumps feeling, that kind of inspirational and motivational thing that you are associated to in the country about indigenship and where you come from. So it's kind of the kind of thing that's it, and it's a wonderful place to be because every country that comes, people cheer the countries that come out from there, and it gives you that human, like we're all together in this. There's no difference in color or race or faith. So we're all coming together with one cause, and the experience for our teams and all that we do, it's quite collaborative. There's alliances that happen. So it's a wonderful. I mean, I don't have words really to really describe, but it's a life-changing experience, especially for people that really want development to happen in the tech industry or in the robotics industry, because it opens doors for a lot of opportunities, networking, collaborations, problem solving. You all see them there, and the facets that it includes. So it's a really life-changing experience for our students and ourselves too.
In terms of preparation, what does it take to prepare the children to get to that point where they are going to compete on a global stage?
It takes quite a lot. It takes quite a lot of time and a lot of issues to deal with. I think one of the biggest is sources for funds. If only people see the vision that you have, I think people will be able to support the cost that you have. So raising funds is, for me, is one of the biggest issue because for us, we have a maker space at our school where our kids just go in there, create things, they make things. So we can, and we have coaches as well that try to. We've trained the coaches, and they're still doing trainings, and also they try to coach these children, students, to do quite a number of things. So preparing them, we have a plan. We make sure that they have a plan. They build the robots, they communicate, they program, they do all the necessary things. So they're kind of 4 teams. There are people that do the note-taking engineering books. There are students that also design the robot. There are those that do the programming, for autonomous runs, and there are those that actually do the building, and there are those that really communicate and just try and share the team up. So with the help of some of our assistants, of some of our parents, and some individuals that we know that align with our visions, so we kind of come together, put a program in to make sure that these things happen. So before the competitions, we make sure that we have a first prototype, second prototype, and we keep changing the robots until we have a desired until we have the desired robots. So there are a lot of preparations happening there, but I think one of the most important one, and I think that's quite pressing, is the funding. I didn't talk about the kits as well, because you need the field elements, you need the parts, So sometimes they don't really come quite early for us. Yeah, challenge that we have. Yeah. Just see for just use any opportunity that we have to see if anyone, any organization, trying to see what we do can align with our vision and can support whatever we do, because we definitely see it as tangible as possible.
Earlier, you talked about some of the other skills that you're trying to impart on these children. Let's talk about coding. How important is coding for these young kids? Or anybody trying to pursue a career in this space?
Well, coding has been there for quite a number of years now, but it's now being more dynamic and simpler, especially with the infuse of AI now. So, and there are quite a lot of different models for coding, and the importance is it just gives you an edge. I always tell our students, would you rather be a doctor? For example, would you rather be a doctor with coding skills or without a coding skill? So and most of them see the importance to say, okay, oh wow, we have robots now doing medical surgeries, so and a doctor with a medical doctor, a physician with coding skills in the future could easily interpret or work with these robots, to really do some things, so it's a skill that's needed for all professions, future professions. So I think it's quite important, and what we try to do at our space is just to give them a background, the basics of coding, and if they can move on with their own careers, they can be able to create something out of what they do, or have the opportunity to do something with the coding, because there are coding almost in every sector that you have these days in the 21st century. So
you also talked about the importance of AI in almost everything that we are doing as of today. AI has been hot news everywhere. In Nigeria, it's the same thing. Everybody is talking about AI. Where do you see the future of AI, or how do you see Nigerians using these new technologies?
Well, it's quite remarkable for this question, because this is a two-way flow. Sometimes it's a mixture of both worlds with AI. That's what I feel. There's good and there's bad in AI. So, um, and but the most important thing is we can't do without it. It's just like when the computer or when the internet came in, you had the early adapters and the late adapters, and so on. So, but with internet, people had to find ways to regulate it. Making sure, okay, because there are quite a number of security issues which people don't really see or don't really get, especially in developing countries like ours. Our legislation and governments, they don't really understand, or they don't see it as important as anything. And I think that's where the biggest fear for me is, because most things in the developed countries are quite regulated. They have procedures, they have extents to what they can do. So for me, I think it's really good. I use AI quite a lot to really help me in a lot of things with the deep language models that you have, the chat GPTs, perplexity, and all those co-pilot and all those things that you have these days. So they really find ways to really make things faster, but it's a combination of human beings. I think to get the best of AI, I think is a combination of human activity and the AI, the human intelligence, and that of the AI's artificial intelligence. So that combination, I think, gives you a faster and a more accurate and a more original kind of ways of doing things. Just make things easier, just like you have using the computers than using the typewriter. So for me in Nigeria here, I know a lot of people are using quite a number of AI, and there are a lot of people building things. They're doing projects in AI. It's quite amazing that they don't really get the attention around here, because we have a large population, and Nigerians really like to study. They like to. It's a competitive environment. So Nigerians are into it quite a lot. Some are using it for good and some for bad. But I think the most important thing is having to have a balance to educate ourselves on how to properly use these AIs, and have regulations because that could be, because you don't want certain information to perhaps be out there for criminals per se, and all that. So I think we need to kind of have regulations, call in all the tech industries, let them come build hubs here, work with us. There's quite a lot of things that they can also learn from us. Like, the music industry or Hollywood, the movie industry in Nigeria is something that is quite booming. And if little attention is given to those areas, perhaps using the AI models and what have you, I think there could be a lot of new market into it. So And I'm sure people are doing works in these areas because I met someone that's building the local AI language model with, I think, with pidgin English kind of, so that people that don't really know how to speak proper English, can still use it too. So you see, this opens up markets for new ideas, new other things. So I see the future. AI is here to stay. We don't have anything. I don't think it's going anywhere. So that's what I feel about AI.
Interesting. If I hear you correctly, you seem to suggest that as much as there are people who say that people shouldn't, governments or regulators should not regulate AI, you are one of those people who think that it's important to regulate AI. Why?
Well, I kind of think the sources of information, not everyone should have some access, or not every information should be, and the biases that can come from it also can be a problem as well, because our history needs to be known. And for any serious government, I think they need to develop their culture. That history needs to be told about what's happening around, and people, the narrative, so that you're able to change mindsets. Because AI can be that biased because it just fits from what it is given. So I think it's for me, I think it's an opportunity for our leaders, perhaps in Africa, to negotiate with tech companies that are into doing this, or build their own AI generative model, invest in it, because it could be a place where you have, especially where you have media, the new media, that's with the social media, right? People getting information, people getting their source of news, from the mainstream media. There's quite a lot of opportunity that governments around Africa can negotiate to send the narrative, or change perhaps something, so that the well-being of their citizens, the mental and health well-being of their citizens can really flourish in every generation, perhaps. So for those reasons, I think AI needs to be regulated. It needs to be regulated, and every serious citizen, leader, or leaders, all most serious leaders all serious leaders in Africa, perhaps, because in most of the developed countries, I think they have that. There's a system in place, that kind of deals with all this kind of thing. So I think they need to be involved to make sure that, okay, such information don't go to the bad guys, or things, that that things like the similar things like that. So perhaps a bit of regulation. I'm not saying total, but I think it needs to be controlled, so that we don't just allow the system, because the system thinks for itself, so that it doesn't just take over. Because there are lots of things you hear with AI, and some people have been scared about how it would be. But I think, for me, I personally think around the world, people will definitely come to terms with it, and probably have some form of regulations, ethical things, so that it will better human beings. When we stumbled upon Makerspace, we felt, okay, this perhaps is the key to bringing everything in one space, and especially with the increasing way of how things are economically becoming. It's just a way of just bringing everything in one place, in one space, perhaps. So for us, we've now built a space that every other space around us is a maker space, where people can actually make, from the corridors, windows, walls. You can actually build some things out of those spaces. So we've been able to change the psyche of our students and our teachers, to understand that these spaces can be utilized for so many things, and there's no telling to, okay, there's no restrictions to what it is. It could be from a toothpick to a drone, perhaps. So, and anything that you have interest in, anything that you think you can make, or our students think that they want to make, they go into those maker spaces, and our coaches are trained to know that, okay, they have some kind of design principle, and it starts with empathy. Then you do the thinking, ideating, and do all those things. And now we're even trying to incorporate the life cycle of those kind of materials that they will use, in those spaces, so that they save our environment, because it's quite important. Over time, we also learn that some of these materials that you could use better sustainable materials that are quite that are quite good for our environment as well. So these are spaces where our students, we don't assess them. Actually, it's out of free will, out of their interest. And we do a lot of programs there, UI, UX designs, animations, all our students have interests, different interests, different projects, different ideas. We take them through a set of training and different aspects of it. So we actually design quite a number of things around the maker spaces, but these are spaces that gives us free hands to do quite a number of things that are out of the curriculum. That's the standardized curriculum. That's the national or what kind of curriculum that you use. And we're kind of advocating for maker spaces, because we've had workshops around Abuja, and we've now had a university adopting that kind of that, because they see the need and the importance of it. And then we have some universities, some schools also kind of adopting this kind of principles or philosophy of having the maker space instead of just having a STEM lab. Just make it freehand, where people where students just come to make something, and this also builds their entrepreneurship skills, or start to build in things that they can innovate and they can create, and that can solve problems around Africa, around our environment. So that's the bit I can say about Makerspace, and it's been something that's been wonderful. We're really proud that it exists. We stumbled upon it sometimes back when we had the opportunity to travel for an educational conference in Hong Kong, and ever since we said it's a must-have for us, and it's really been giving us the glory and all that. So,
well, Abba Saidu, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Paul. It was nice having me, and I really appreciate this opportunity.
Would like to know what you think about young Africans representing their countries at the VEX Robotics World Championships in Dallas, Texas, competing alongside some of the brightest minds from around the world. And of course, share your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to like and follow and subscribe to me, Paul Ndiho, on Substack, X, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, YouTube, and Spotify.